We have a scam alert going on.
Oh, no.
Car lots.
Oh.
Should call them car lots of scams, am I right? Check this out. There's this chick I know. She, I'm not much of a car guy, but I'm the closest brawling man she had. So she's got a vehicle, and she heard on the radio them saying, we'll give you in trade-in value more than your car is worth. I've heard those commercials for years. I've never given them a second thought because I've never bought from a car lot. Right. She asked that I go down there with her. So I go down there, and their scam is like, I don't understand how everyone doesn't see through it. I don't understand how they didn't run these commercials for like 1 month and then got backlash and were like, okay, we're not doing that again. But what they essentially do is, I thought we'd do some even math here so everyone can stay with us. So let's say you have a vehicle and that vehicle is worth, like you selling it, it's worth $5,000. Okay. But they're like, hey, come on down to the Snowman at Frank Fletcher and we're going to give you more than your car's worth, So they give this whole spiel where they're like, we're going to give you $6,000 and that's more than you're going to get anywhere. We're doing you a favor. You're going to use that on a trade-in value on a vehicle from our lot, right? So let's say that vehicle's worth $20,000. So it's $20,000 sticker price. They're going to give you $6,000 for your car. So for everyone following along, that's $14,000 that you're now going to owe for that vehicle, no matter how you come up with the money, whether you do financing or whatnot, right? But what that also does is it takes away your ability to haggle, okay? So they're not giving you more than your car's worth. What they're doing is, let's say the car on the lot is $20,000. Now, they only really have to sell that car for, let's say, $15,000. And then everything above that is like commission for the salesman and, everyone on the floor. So if you do take these, give you more than your car's worth, they do not allow you to haggle because they're like, we've already done you a favor, pal. So you effectively lose your ability to do that. So let's rerun the numbers here. Let's say instead of taking their bullshit ass deal, you sell your own car for $5,000. And see, I haggle for everything. I haggle at Home Depot for washers and dryers, I'm like, I know it says $300, but I'm thinking like $200. That means I can walk in there. Let's say we sold her car just on the street, just to some crackhead. And she gets $5,000 for it because that's what the vehicle's worth. I go in with that $5,000 and I say, hey, look, I know you got $20,000 on a price tag, but I don't have $20,000. I'll give you 17 for it, right? Or I might even start at 16 or 15 because I know they're going to go up a little bit. For the sake of argument, let's say they agree to 17, okay? So now we add on that $5,000 from us selling that vehicle ourselves. That's minus $8,000. So now that vehicle is only going to cost 12, maybe even 11 if you catch them at the end of the month when they have to rotate their, their cycle of vehicles or something that's been sitting on the lot for a long time. Right. So they're not giving you more than your vehicle's worth. They're taking away your ability to haggle. They're not doing anything good for you. They're doing something bad, but everyone's too fucking stupid to see it. Because I've been hearing these ads every single month on the radio my entire life. Yeah. And I have heard more than one person be like, why would I sell that vehicle if they're going to give me more than what it's worth? If they're going to give me $500 more, if they're going to give me $1,000. And especially if you're going with the higher the cost is, the more I'm going to pull down the price while we're there, right? So using the same formula, if you're buying a vehicle that's worth, let's say $100,000, we're going to wind up getting $15,000, maybe even $20,000 off of that by selling the vehicle and then finagling the price, That's a big chunk of money. Right. So here's what she's going to do in the end, okay? Forget their financing. It's a bank loan all day long. And if you can't get a bank loan, let's say your credit's all slompy wonky, you can still go in and get a bank loan under these circumstances. Because what you can do is say, look, I need a vehicle. I'll put the vehicle I'm buying as collateral, okay? So if I mess this up, you take the vehicle even though I paid in X amount. And then for something like this, they're going to want a little bit down. So let's refer back to that chart. We're selling our own vehicle, so we're going to have $5,000 out of $20,000 down. If we go into a bank and say we have 25% down and we will give you the vehicle as collateral, if that bank agent, that loan agent says no, you won't have to go to too many places before you're going to find a yes in that scenario. Like, there's always an easier way. Forget financing, period. I don't care what it is. If I rack up my credit card too much, I go to the bank and get a bank loan and pay off the credit card because that bank loan is going to be a lot better terms in the end, right? But alas, I do think this girl is going to take the easy route because she is an easy girl. And I don't think she watches this show. So she's probably going to go do the, do the one-stop shop thing, wind up with the 16% interest, and instead of paying, even with the more than it's worth, her owing $14,000, she's probably going to wind up paying $18,000 by the time it's all done. Yep. And then that cost they gave her that was worth more than her vehicle is really only worth a third of her vehicle. You see what I'm saying? You see how this is all a spinning, rotating wheel of fuck?
Right.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's shenanigans. It is not real, and we should not stand for it.
No, enough of their skylarkings.
Oh, but no, on the for real, anything that says they're going to give you more than trade-in, they're scamming you. Sell it on your own, finagle the price, have the cash in hand from you selling that, get a bank loan instead of financing if you need it. If I go to buy a $20,000 vehicle and I have all of the money, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to give you 17. Or I'm going to insult them sometimes. Sometimes you got to piss them off and be like, I'll give you 14 and a half. And they're going to be like, piss off. And I'm like, well, where can we land, buddy? You can't be afraid to piss off the guy in the suit, right? Because, I just found out with this real estate agent I'm dealing with, just because he wears a suit doesn't mean he isn't a fucking scumbag. Probably shouldn't even talk about this, but I was telling him this morning that I had to yell at a real estate agent because I sold him a property. He's supposed to file it within 30 days. He didn't file it. I get a call from the police department in the city that the lot is located in that they're about to fine the hell out of me because of what these guys are doing. I honestly fell victim to it. I was like, he's a real estate agent. He's wearing a suit. I don't have to go hold this guy's hand and babysit him and make sure he turns in that title. I was wrong. But I always get 2 copies of a deed when I sell a property notarized so that I can come behind him, play daddy, and go turn it in for him. Which is exactly what I'm going to have to do. And speaking of playing daddy, that's exactly what I'm going to do to this girl if I see her again. Single. All right, fucking hell, this went off the rails fast.
Non-apologetic nonsense.